Apologize if I've got any goofy producing going on. As always, it is a little rainy and rocky over here in the Midwest, in northern Illinois here. So not sure. Hoping, cross my fingers that we got some fine connection here for the next 30 minutes or so, because this is the closing bell for Wednesday, July 5th. Hope everyone had a fantastic 4th of July, safe and festive and fun, good cookouts. Yada, yada, yada. Hope you beat the heat. Everything along those lines if it was as hot as it was here in Illinois. But nonetheless, I'm glad to be back after a handful of days off here. Evening, Connor. Thank you for stopping in the chats there. Today's show should be fairly short and sweet. I know Jeff just ended with Andrew McGinnis a little bit ago and is going to have I believe Brady Cannon on tonight to talk all things John Deere Classic going on this weekend in Western Illinois. Unfortunately, not as many big names in this one. I've got some love for watching this one, but unfortunately not as many big names, but still some good names to watch for. And honestly, in a lot of these tournaments, a guy that has as much expertise as a guy like Brady Cannon, those guys typically are very good at tackling these slimmer ranked fields, if you catch my drift there. So definitely one you want to watch for, some value to tackle. Tonight's show for this weekend, I do not have as many thoughts on this one. Whenever we got these light fields, unfortunately, not my forte. But for anyone who does, you can definitely make some good value picks as far as the PGA Tour is concerned on some of these events. Got a handful, like I said, of a couple names that were in last week's tournament that played well, so maybe feeling warmed up and loose for this weekend. And still a couple good names as well there. So not too much to recap. We obviously had Joey Chestnut getting title number 16 or 17 or something along those lines. Canceled the event, and then Joey Chestnut wrangles the troops and gets them going. So the man is an American hero nonetheless. It was a good 4th of July, though. Plenty of baseball going on, and that is appearing to be all that we've got going on in tonight's case. For tonight's show, the old Wimbledon is obviously going on right now, but I can't help you out with that one at all, so I apologize there. But we're going to get right into this baseball slate tonight. There is one game going on right now. Another one, actually a few starting in a couple of hours. I guess I thought there was two going on today. But Rockies, Astros up 6-4 going to the bottom of the, actually I believe that will be final here in any second there. Astros 6-4. Astros starting to heat back up after their lull and struggles that they had been on during the month of June there. They are starting to heat back up and ascend towards the top of the AL West. 3 games back at Texas there, who's been kind of treading water these last few weeks ever since DeGrom went out. Still maintaining this division lead, but only 3 games now. For them, we'll talk about this team in a little bit and what they've got going on tonight. But obviously their division gets a little less scary with the Angels and all their injuries going on there. So at least for the next couple of weeks, hopefully that gets resolved and all 3 of these guys get back ASAP. Because this Angels team obviously has been circling the wagons of a positive season, let alone a playoff berth these last handful of years with all these guys. And, you know, a little streaky, pretty streaky team this year, but obviously a team that still has a chance to make some waves, but obviously not gonna be easy to do with these 3 guys out for whatever extended period of time that is. I'm sure Shohei at the very least will be back after the All-Star break, if not sooner. So without further ado, I know there's one game in my neck of the woods that's got some weather alerts to look out for that we'll talk about when we get there. But aside from that, it looks like it's going to be a good night of baseball. Like I said, 3 games starting off here in 2 hours, 5:40 Central Time, 6:40 East Coast Time. A couple of good ones, one that will probably cruise right past. But that one first up is the Oakland A's and the Detroit Tigers. Waldichuk versus Erod Rodriguez. Waldichuk's has been giving you 2 to 3 innings consistently. A lot of bullpen action out of these Waldichuk starts. And for Erod, who had been having a solid first couple of months of the season, first start since May the 28th, excuse me. So a little over the month for him. A's making a little waves. Took care of my White Sox 2 out of 3 games. Beat the Tigers 1-0 yesterday, so they've won 3 of their last 4. Tigers 3-2 their last 5. Obviously, they lost yesterday. Had some offense in Colorado. I think took 2 out of 3 from them there in Colorado. So at the end of the day, you're getting I'm like I've always said, I have not been having too much interest in these Oakland A's games. I'm probably going to move right past this one. I don't really have too much interest betting on a Tigers team. Even a run line. It's not even plus money at home. First five, not really any way to get into this one if you're interested in the Tigers, and I do not suggest paying the tax for a Tigers team. I think actually there's been an update to who's starting in this one. Looks like it's Austin Pruitt. So my information is old from this morning. That is nonetheless, that's still going to be a bullpen game for the A's there. So not a fan of trying to predict what Eduardo Rodriguez is going to do after being out for over a month. Like I said, had a 2.13 ERA through the first 2 months of the season, about 11 starts, I think there. Really only 1 or 2 regression starts, and aside from that, was really, really solid. So I'm not trying to predict and assume that he's going to be back to what he was right before he went off the deadline. I'm not trying to suggest he's going to be terrible, but I really just don't know where you're going to get. You might only get 60, 70 pitches from him, and he's yanked after the 4th, 5th inning there. So probably the game that I am least interested in getting involved with tonight in the MLB there. Next couple of ones up here. Philly and Tampa Bay, same time in that one. You've got Taijuan Walker and Zach Littell. Littell's probably going to be another situation where we got a bullpen game for the Rays here. Taijuan Walker this month has been absolutely fantastic. 1 earned run or less in each of his last 5 starts. So he has been one of the underrated pitchers, one of the great pitchers in June there, pitchers of the month in June. This Rays team, after obviously their hot start, they're still a very, very good team. They've been a little streaky. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. They are back home now after a 6 or 7 game West road trip. Did lose yesterday at home to this Phillies team, but now settling back in at home. They are the favorites in this one with Taijuan Walker on the other side of it. So wouldn't surprise me if this is the time where you get some Taijuan Walker regression on top of the Rays kind of settling back in at home. Losing yesterday, trying to bounce back from that one. I'm not in love with it. Wouldn't shock me at all if Walker is really good again. Rays offense only 1 run yesterday. I could see them bouncing back here a little bit. So I'm going to lean towards the Rays taking care of business in this one, but I could see this one going a lot of different ways. So that's where I'll lean with this one, but if you've been riding this Taijuan Walker hot streak, then by all means, keep rolling with it. He's got a 9.3 record, 3.93 ERA, and a lot of that work has been done here in the last month and a half or so. So if you're buying that train, then definitely go ahead. Usually not a fan of these bullpen starts, but obviously the Tampa Bay Rays are an exception. They do it a lot. So you're probably not betting on the Rays too much if you're following that situation there. So I am going to go ahead and take a swing or a lean on the Tampa Bay Rays at home tonight, getting the victory there. Other one up at that same time is the St. Louis Cardinals and Miami Marlins. Liberatore versus Hoeing. Definitely need to check my pronunciations on these two here. Hoeing hit some regression last time out. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs versus the Braves. Liberatore has been fairly iffy. Needs to limit his hits. The starts that he's limited his hits, he's been all right. And this Marlins team, this is game 3 of the series actually. Marlins win 5-4 and 15-2 these last 2 days here. Cardinals haven't been a bad team at bouncing back when they get their what's kicked like that the day before. So on the road with this price here, I'm honestly not too afraid to jump into this Cardinals team here today. Obviously, I can see why this Marlins team at home with the record they have up against this Cardinals team, why they are the hefty public side. But I think this Cardinals team has shown flashes in at least 1 game per series for the most part here. And like I said, I was looking at the record's not fantastic, but there are a decent amount of cases where the Cardinals give up double-digit runs like that the day prior and come back the next day. Pitching staff is a lot better. Offense does what they need to do. So this is another one where I'm going to lean towards the Cardinals. A stronger lean on this one. I kind of like the Cardinals in the first 5, but I like them first 5 and full game. I think they win this game. I think Liberatore is a little more solid through at least the first 5 than he's been the last couple. And wouldn't surprise me if Brian Hoeing here has got a couple bad starts under his belt before he gets things fixed. He had been pretty darn good for a little bit there, and now and some of that was out of bullpen. Now these last 2 or 3 have been in the starting role first two starts were really, really solid. Now this last one, obviously, it was against the Braves, and the Braves are pounding everybody right now. But I could see him having a couple of ugly ones before he figures things out. So I'm going to go to the Cardinals tonight as far as that one is going there. Next one up, I believe, at Baltimore and the Yankees. Dean Kramer and I'm drawing a blank on first name here. Vasquez for the Yankees. Randy Vasquez for the Yankees. This is his third outing with the team there. He is a 24-year-old. First two outings, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs on May the 26th, and then on June 8th, so it's been about a month since he's been in the majors, 5 2/3, 2 hits, no earned runs on June the 8th, I believe against my White Sox there. Yankees have taken the first 2 out of this series. Dean Kramer, on the other hand, 3 innings last time out, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, so it was ugly for him against the Twins. So with Randy Vasquez on the mound here, I really have no idea what you're going to get out of this one. This is definitely a game that I could see going either way. I could see either of these pitchers being terrible. I could see one of them having a nice, fun evening. Dean Kramer, I could absolutely see bouncing back. He has been pretty dang hit or miss, so you're playing with fire a little bit there. But he's kind of been going a handful of good starts in a row before an ugly one there. So I don't believe, I'm looking at it now, aside from early out of the gates, he's been fairly solid about bouncing back for the most part there. So not saying I'm leading all the way towards the Orioles. I just wouldn't hate a bounce back start for him. But again, no idea whatsoever what you're getting out of Randy Vasquez. Would almost lean towards the Orioles having a little bit more success than against him than he's seen a lack of success his first 2 outings here this year. So I'm going to lean towards the Orioles on the road there, but again, it's a hard lean on that one. Much harder lean than that last pick I told you about there. Reds and Nationals is the next one up. Ashcraft and Josiah Gray for the Nats there. Ashcraft 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks last time out. Josiah Gray, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks last time versus this Phillies team. Josiah Gray, if you've been paying attention in the last couple of years here, strikeout rate is starting to improve. Walk rate also starting to improve a bit. Still inconsistent, giving up a couple games here and there with 4 walks or so. But instead of 3, 6, 4, 5 in a row as far as walks per game, he's kind of mixing it around with 1 walk, 4 walks. A little back and forth there, but at least getting better, getting closer to a consistent level for him. Nationals had a little bit of a small spurt there. We had been talking about them as a team that's going to fall down, deeper into the bottom pit there. Did have a little bit of spurt where they kind of thwarted that a little bit, but have dropped the first 2 of this series. This Reds team, after their win streak ended, I think lost a few in a row, but now 6-1 their last 7. So they're back to winning a bunch of games in a row here. But the Reds, only minus 120, has got to concern you a little bit here. And, would it surprise me if they won this game? Absolutely not. I think that's trying to suggest that Josiah Gray is improving more than people are giving him credit for. His numbers really aren't that bad on the entire season. But as he gets going here, this last month has been really, really, he's got one ugly start there. But aside from that, his last 2 have been really solid here. Like I said, walks still sporadic every once in a while here, but getting better. So I'm going to lean on Josiah Gray having a nice start here. And again, would it surprise me if Ashcraft is really good and this Reds team is in this game? Absolutely not. But I'm going to go Nationals first 5 with a good Josiah Gray start. Ashcraft maybe regressing a little bit there. I know he's got good stuff, but I'm going to go first 5. I'm going to go to the Nationals tonight. That's where I'm going with that one, with a good Josiah Gray start. Let's see. Next one up, Atlanta and Cleveland. Soroka and Quantrill for Cleveland there. Soroka, only start number 4 of the season. He had 2 starts, I want to say May and June. I could be blanking on when this timeline is. Anyways, this is the 4th start of his season. He had another IL start after his first 2 starts. Now this is the 2nd start after an IL stint. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. Couple of home runs involved in those 3 earned runs. No walks, 7 Ks, 98 pitches last time, so they did let him go all the way there. Whereas Quantrill, 6 runs, 8 runs, 6 runs allowed in his last 3, so he has been ugly, ugly, ugly. Guardians end that Braves winning streak yesterday. If you didn't see the Guardians end that winning streak that the Braves had, 7, 8, 9 games, I don't remember exactly what it was. Guardians playing better, still 42 and 43, so they are still kind of treading water a little bit, but they have been going through some streaks, have been taking care of some bad teams. And now with a little bit of life at home, I am scared to say that they might have another something up their sleeve to give the Braves kind of 2 losses in a row, as we always talk with those winning streaks coming to an end. It was 6-5 yesterday. Braves have obviously been very good at winning series, so it would not surprise me at all if Soroka is fantastic. But I mean, I could see this Guardians team, having another nice offensive game here and winning a couple in a row. So I'm not diving all the way into it, but I don't think it's as simple as a Braves bounce back and they're getting right back on the horse and winning this thing. I think the Cleveland Guardians are live today once again. And hopefully that doesn't propel them into a really hot streak, because they've got 4 with Kansas City coming up next, but a handful of Kansas City coming up this month. But at the end of the day, I would beware and pump the brakes a little bit on Atlanta going for an immediate bounce back. It would not surprise me at all if they lose a couple in a row here before they get back on track there. Jon Gray and Brayan Bello for this next one, Texas and the Red Sox. These 2 pitchers, Jon Gray hitting some aggression 2 of his last 3, had still out in the middle of a nice season, had a really, really nice season going along. Last time out, 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, whereas Bello, obviously, if you've been paying attention, starting to come into his own. 1 earned run in each of his last 3. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run last time out against the Marlins was very, very good. Red Sox just swept the Jays over the weekend. Blue Jays lose yesterday to Texas, and Texas had been roughed up by the Astros. Mentioned Texas kind of treading water a little bit here these last few weeks. But we talked about this Boston team as a team that's going to have these stretches where they lose 4 in a row, win 3 in a row, go back and forth for 4 days, win 3 in a row, lose 6 in a row. They're just going to be a team that's very, very inconsistent. A total of 10 here with how Bello has been pitching at home here is pretty interesting. I know there are some high totals around the league here, so it's something to be aware of. But at the end of the day, I really don't have much of a feel for this one. Jon Gray himself, I would suspect, could potentially be due for some more regression as far as giving up 7 hits allowed last time out. He had a sandwich into these 2 bad starts. He did have a really good one against the Yankees for 5 innings, but they yanked him, starting to leak oil a little bit there. So I'm going to lean towards the over, I guess is where I'm going. I could see some regression from Brayan Bello. I think you're going to have another bad one from Jon Gray. So kind of going out on a limb on this one with the over. I don't know what to make out of the 2 sides on this one, but I'm going to lean towards some fireworks happening and maybe some home runs and some balls jumping out of the park tonight in Boston. That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go towards a popcorn over for that one. Moving on past that one to Minnesota, Kansas City and Minnesota. I'll breeze right past this one. Marsh for Kansas City, as long as that's still the starter listed here. Alec Marsh, for Kansas City. Start number 2. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, couple of bombs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Threw him to the Wolves against the Dodgers in his debut there. Lopez, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned runs last time out. So after a little bit of back and forth from Lopez, he was really good last time out. Twins have won the first 2 of this series. However, this Royals offense has been showing at least small signs of life. They've been winning some games here and there, not total dumpster fire this last week and a half or so. Their pitching has been ugly, continued to be ugly. But their offense has put up some numbers, shown some signs of life this last week and a half or so here. So does that mean I'm jumping into him tonight? Absolutely not. I think Lopez could be in for another really nice start here. No idea whatsoever what you're going to get from Alec Marsh there. So unlike these other ones, I actually might like an under in this one, an under 8. Again, could the Twins do that themselves against Alec Marsh here? Absolutely. But I think you're going to get another really good start from Lopez here, and I am going to go a hard lean towards the under in this one, a low-scoring game. Twins have put up 8-9 in the first 2 games of these series, and now you're getting an Alec Marsh guy who wasn't very good in his debut and a flat total of 8. So at the very least, I think you're going to get both sides going a little lower scoring here, and you're going to see an under is what I'm thinking tonight. Only a few more left here. I know, I think my next one up, one of the next 2, both Chicago games. The one in Chicago, White Sox hosting the Blue Jays. Good chance that you are either going to see a delay, even a postponement wouldn't surprise me, or some start and then stop in action. So if you want to avoid that altogether, Definitely beware of the weather. Last I checked, I think at the very least it'll get delayed and then they might start. So maybe there won't be any stopping and starting. Maybe it'll just be an hour-long delay or something like that. But not always something we are interested in getting involved in over here. You've got Berrios and Lance Lynn on the mound tonight for both these two teams. Lynn obviously has not been very good. Berrios has been had a really nice stretch and then has finally hit some regression. The one thing that I was interested in this one, the White Sox hit a home run, 3-run home run, Luis Robert. Just haven't gotten timely hitting or timely pitching. Just a combination of everything for the White Sox there. Luis Robert, I believe not a Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, 9 for 23 lifetime, I think it is, against Jose Berrios. So if they do play and everything's good to go, Eloy Jimenez was going to be my home run pick. I know I always come with the White Sox one, but I've had some good luck with the Eloy in a lot of spots there, or Luis, though. So 9 for 23 lifetime against Berrios. I think one of them was a bomb, so starting to hit pretty decently lately. So give me an Eloy bomb if they do get going. Big if they do get going there. Cubs and Brewers in Milwaukee. I know the Cubs, I believe, won the game in extras yesterday. Steele versus Hauser. Hauser 6 innings, 7 hits, 2-earned run last time out. Steele's been real good the last 17 and third in these last 3 outings here in June. 13 hits, 3 earned. Last 3. I don't know if that was in June. Last 3 starts, 17 and third, 13 hits, 3 earned runs. This Cubs team, another team that's streaky. Win 3, lose 5. Win 4, lose 2. But their pitching has been betraying them. That was one thing that I kind of pointed out a month or 2 ago, was that their pitching had been pitching way above their skis. Offense might have a good chance of progressing and being a reason they win a lot of games, but this pitching staff was one of the bigger regression cases in all of baseball, and it's been happening for sure for them in the last couple of weeks. Top and bottom end. I know their back end's been blowing some games for them. Brewers, despite this Reds streak that's been happening, the Brewers maintaining some ground there. 7-3 last 10, so they are still playing some decent ball right now. But as far as this one is concerned, I guess, I mean, the Brewers as an underdog at home here is definitely something to see, something to look at there. I think you're getting a lot of Cubs money coming in on this one here, so wouldn't surprise me if the Brewers had something up their sleeve and maybe there's a little back end action going on for Milwaukee. Their offense has actually been really solid lately. But so is this Cubs offense. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I really am kind of throwing my hands up on this one. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Brewers had better chance to win than people are giving them credit for here. Maybe the first 5, I might even go Steele in the Cubs, but give me a little full game Brewers action, a little late through the back door action for the Brewers there tonight. Angels and Padres. Obviously, everyone, we talked about at the start of the show, the injuries for the Angels. They are going to be without all of their studs tonight and potentially here for a few weeks. They've got, actually, I think Ohtani might be in the lineup tonight. I might have been over-exaggerating that one, and I might have heard worse. At least he was out for a few days. Maybe he's just out for the All-Star game pitching-wise, and maybe he's going to be fine here. But nonetheless, you lose Rendon and you lose Trout, so there are still some ugliness going on there. Lose some firepower there. But you got Patrick Sandoval on the mound for the Angels. Lugo on the mound there for the Padres. Sandoval is a guy that we have very much enjoyed last year here at ECSI. Was not good at all last time out against my White Sox. 5 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. So those strikeouts were still there. But just has not been the same guy at all here. So tough to predict. I would love to tell you that I think he's on his way back. But I just don't know, and Lugo has actually been solid here, so I'm throwing my hands up. If you're a serious believer in Sandoval, then at some point he's got to be bouncing back here. But at the end of the day, he has not looked like himself. His Padres team still kind of treading water, but their offense has been good these last few days here, so I'm going to back off of it. If anyone's got any better thoughts on it, then go ahead. This one's got a lot of goofiness all around that I'm not trying to get into, especially the Angels after losing Trout. Rendon there, so I'm going to avoid that one, sidestep it altogether there. Tommy Malone for the Mariners, Alex Cobb for the Giants there. Goofy one here, Malone making a spot start, it appears. Cobb has been fairly solid here for the Giants, pretty ho-hum. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs last time out. Mariners actually on a 4-game win streak. Almost, I don't want to say it, but almost kind of reminds me of my White Sox from last year. having those types of streak just when you think they're dead, and then they when you think they're back alive, then they fall through the floor again. So I'm not saying that's happening here, but it does remind me a little bit of that situation from last year. Giants 1-6 their last 7 after their hot streak. Their offense has been very bad this last week. After the success they had, it is betraying them a little bit here. This past week or during that stretch, a lot of 0-1-2 outings there from them. But I don't know what to expect out of this one again. No idea what to expect out of Tommy Malone. I would expect maybe some runs against him, and maybe this Giants offense is waking up a little bit here today at home. And Alex Cobb, in his case, probably is going to be fine, ho-hum, like he always typically is. So I'll lean towards the Giants. I think that pricing is pretty fair. But I'm not trying to dive all the way into this one without any Series Plus money or anything like that. So thank you, Connor, for stopping by. I know you got to head out as you were saying there, but thank you for stopping by, my friend. I always appreciate you hanging out with us here. Only a couple more left anyways. I'm going to skip through the Giants one. Like I said, I'll lean towards the Giants getting the victory, but wouldn't surprise me if it's like a 5-4 and these numbers are spot on here. If you get the run line, you're in bad shape. First 5 could be sweaty. Who knows? I'm going to stay far away from that one. These last two, Mets in Arizona, Senga and Tommy Henry. Senga has been another guy that's just consistent, 5-6 innings, 2-3 earned runs. You kind of know what you're going to get out of him there. Whereas Henry's been really good last 2, 1 earned run in each of his last 2. These two teams, obviously, differing seasons so far here. Total of 9.5 in this one is a little interesting there, though. But again, as you look around the league tonight, there's a lot of high totals that some make sense, some are a little head scratching. This Mets team 3 in a row, 8 runs scored in each of their last 2 there. Diamondbacks offense a little shaky these last few days, but obviously could see them bouncing back pretty easily here tonight. So this is another one that's a little goofy that we're seeing a 9.5. With what these pitchers have been at lately. So I'm going to go towards the over on this one just based off of a little wonkiness there. But I don't have any strong thoughts here on this one. On paper, you would say this could be a decent pitching matchup. But would not shock me if Henry's due for some regression. Not shock me at all if Senga's due for a final bad one instead of these home 2 earned run outings there. So last one up, and then we'll get out of here. Pittsburgh and the Dodgers. Beto versus Miller. Beto, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs. Only a handful of starts so far in his career here. Miller, also a rookie, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs last time versus Kansas City. These two teams have split this series here so far. Now we are in game 3 here. Obviously, a big number for the Dodgers at home here. I'm going to lean towards a nice Miller outing tonight. I'm going to go over 6.5 Ks for Miller at some plus money. That's where I'm going to go with this one. I think you're going to get a good start from him. Not sure at all what to see from Beto, the Beto shuffle there. Hopefully you can pronounce it Beto, because then I'm just going to call him the Beto shuffle. Hopefully it's not Bido. And then we got to call him Fido. But nonetheless, I think this Dodgers team probably wins tonight. And I think Miller is probably going to be pretty damn good for you tonight. So I'm going to go over 6.5 Ks. For the man Miller for the Dodgers there. So not a ton going on tonight after the holiday. But I've got one game that I am probably going to play, and then maybe a little fun going on the rest of the league. Hopefully the White Sox can get their game in. A little home run prop action there. But nonetheless, thank you all for stopping by. I know we will be back tomorrow night. I know Jeff will be here in, I want to say an hour for his show with Brady Cannon. I'll double check that for you right now. Yes, 1 hour, less than an hour from now, 5 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock East Coast time to talk John Deere Classic, PGA Tour there with Brady Cannon. So definitely tune into that one. Like I was saying, definitely going to get some good value out of this field, smaller field. But as I was saying at the start of the show, sometimes you can attack those even better than a big field with big names in them there. You can find some gems hidden in the rough in these ones, no pun intended there. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and get on out of here. Once again, hope everyone had a great 4th of July. Glad to be back here after the long holiday weekend. And we're going to be rocking and rolling into this upcoming weekend. Already a couple days away there. So once again, I will see y'all tomorrow. Hope y'all stay around here for another show here in less than an hour with Jeff and Brady Cannon. And without further ado, I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all for stopping by.